If you're over 50 and struggling with your digestion, you've probably heard it all before, right? Just eat more fiber, drink more water. But what if that advice is completely missing the point? Today, we're going to dive into some incredibly simple yet powerful Japanese habits that go way beyond that standard advice. They're designed to restore your colon's natural rhythm, and believe me, some of these take less than 3 minutes a day. So let's just jump right in. That 37% you're looking at, that's not just some random number about getting older. No, it represents a very real, very specific slowdown in your body. See, after you hit 50, those natural muscle contractions in your colon, the engine that powers your whole digestive system, they really start to weaken. It's a measurable decline, and it's what sets the stage for so many of the problems we're about to unpack. And there's a name for that muscle squeeze. It's called peristalsis. The best way to think about it is like a wave, constantly moving through your digestive tract, pushing everything along nice and smoothly. But when that wave starts to flatten out, well, your whole system just stalls. Everything sits there longer than it should, it hardens up, and that's when you start feeling that awful bloating, that sluggishness, that general discomfort. Now, here's where it gets really serious and frankly a little bit scary. This isn't just about feeling uncomfortable. When your colon stalls out, your body can actually start reabsorbing toxins it was supposed to get rid of. And that toxic buildup, it can quietly jack up your risk of chronic inflammation by as much as 340%. So you see, getting that system moving again isn't just a comfort issue. It's absolutely crucial for your long-term health. So, what's the answer? How do we actually do that? Well, this is where we turn to a completely different approach, the Japanese solution. The goal here is not to force things out with harsh laxatives. It's about reawakening your colon's own natural rhythm. We're going to look at some very specific thermal, mechanical, and chemical triggers that gently but effectively tell your body, hey, it's time to restart that wave. And to make this super clear and easy to follow, we're going to count down 8 of these habits. We'll rank them from the least powerful all the way up to the absolute game changers. This way, you'll know exactly where to put your energy to get the biggest bang for your buck. All right, let's start with what I call the foundation habits. These first 5 are good, they're helpful, and they'll definitely build a solid base. And hey, they're way better than doing nothing at all. But just know, these are the warm-up act. They're not the ultimate solution. Coming in at number 8, we've got the seiza posture combined with deep breathing. This is a traditional Japanese kneeling position, and it works by gently compressing your abdomen while that deep breathing stimulates something called the vagus nerve, which is like the main highway of communication to your gut. It gives you a little boost, but honestly, it can be really tough on the knees, and we're only talking about an 8% motility boost. So think of it as a gentle nudge, not a powerful push. Okay, at number 7, we have warm pickled ginger with green tea. Now, the magic here is a compound in ginger called gingerol. It's fantastic for getting your upper digestive tract moving. We're talking a 12% motility boost. But here's the catch. The main benefit happens in your stomach. By the time it gets down to your colon, a lot of that power has faded. And a big warning, that bright pink ginger you see in stores is usually packed with sugar, which is the last thing you want. Moving right along to habit number 6, a clockwise abdominal massage. This one is purely mechanical. You're literally physically tracing the path of your large intestine to help things along. It definitely can improve transit time, but, and this is a big but, you have to be gentle. Pressing too hard can actually cause harm, and this method doesn't do anything for the underlying issues like hydration or gut health. Now, this next one might sound way too simple, but habit number 5 is surprisingly powerful. It's the 30 chew rhythm. Yep, that's it, chewing each bite of food 30 times. Why does this work so well? Well, it boosts your overall digestive efficiency by 24%. You're basically pre-digesting your food in your mouth, which means way less work for your colon. The obvious downside? Your meals are going to take about twice as long. And rounding out our foundation habits at number 4 is warm miso broth with cabbage. This one gets a really strong 8 out of 10. Miso is loaded with probiotics, and the cabbage gives you glutamine. Together, they work to actually repair your gut lining. This can improve your intestinal function by 34%, and a lot of people feel less bloated in just a couple of days. The only thing to watch out for is the sodium, so if that's a concern for you, just check with your doctor first. Okay, deep breath. We have laid the foundation. Now it's time to get to the habits that really, truly move the needle. These are the top 3, the big ones, the absolute game changers that deliver powerful and, most importantly, consistent results. Kicking off our power list at number 3 is a drink made of warm water, rice vinegar, and a little bit of honey. And this is a brilliant example of a key mechanism called the gastrocolic reflex. Basically, when that acidic vinegar hits your stomach, it sends a direct signal, like a hotline, straight to your colon that says, all right, time to get moving. Studies show this can improve complete bowel evacuation by a whopping 38% over 4 weeks. Yeah, the taste is a little sharp, but the effect is undeniable. Now get this, the second most powerful habit isn't a food or a drink at all, it's a philosophy. It's called hara hachibu. It's the Okinawan practice of eating until you are just 80% full. Think about it. When you constantly eat until you're stuffed, you're just overwhelming your digestive system. By stopping just a little bit early, you give your colon a manageable job to do, and that can improve your transit time by a massive 44%. This one takes real discipline, I'm not gonna lie, but it is more effective than almost any supplement out there. So before I tell you what the number one habit is, I just want you to look at these numbers. A 52% improvement in complete evacuation. A 47% reduction in bloating. These aren't made-up figures. They come from a landmark study on adults over 60 who followed one very specific daily system. So, what is it? Here it is. The number one most powerful habit is timed warm water windows. And listen, this isn't just about drinking more water. It's a very precise system. That first window between 6 and 7 a.m. is the absolute most important. On a totally empty stomach, you drink 16 ounces of warm water with the juice of half a fresh lemon and a quarter teaspoon of unrefined sea salt. This specific combination, the warmth, the acid, the minerals, it ignites that gastrocolic reflex and gently flushes your entire system. The other windows throughout the day just keep that hydration and that rhythm going. Okay, I have to stress this. The details here are absolutely crucial. For this to actually work, you have to use unrefined sea salt, the gray or pink kind that has all the trace minerals, not your standard white table salt. You have to use fresh squeezed lemon juice because the enzymes in the bottled stuff are dead. And the water has to be warm, not cold, which can shock the system, and definitely not scalding. Getting these little details right makes all the difference in the world. All right, I know that was a ton of information, so you're probably thinking, how do I actually start this without feeling totally overwhelmed? Don't worry. Let's break this all down into a super simple action plan you can literally start tomorrow morning. Here it is, your simple 3-step daily system. Step 1 is non-negotiable. You have to start every single day with the number one habit, that timed warm water morning ritual. For step 2, give yourself an afternoon boost. Pick one, either the miso broth or the rice vinegar drink. They both work wonders. And finally, step 3 is about your mindset. Practice the philosophy of hara hachibu at every single meal. That's it. That combination is your core system for getting your colon back on track. So I want to leave you with this one question. For years, maybe even decades, you've probably been told that your digestive system slowing down is just a normal part of getting older, something you just have to accept. But what if that's not true? What if you aren't broken, but your habits are? The science behind these incredible Japanese practices suggests that you have the power to fix your habits, and when you do that, you can fix your colon too.